chance to make it 28-3. Arthur Blank loving it. Up by 25. Toss to White. He's in! What a comeback!
All right, welcome to another episode of the 28-3 podcast. We are now a few days removed from that debacle in the Superdome. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It's a distant memory at this point. So we're going to talk about hopefully positive things going forward. But today's episode, we're going to go ahead and preview the game with the Patriots on Sunday. So, Corey, why don't you get us started?
I'm very excited about this matchup, Max. Going into fucking Foxboro.
I can see it in your eyes. You were
I just can't
so
fucking wait.
up.
Those fucking fans, Max, they're going to be chomping at the bit. Actually, you know what? They're not, because they're kind of in the same spot as us. You know, they just had...
They really are.
They benched their quarterback, right?
Well, it's a coach who no longer has a Hall of Fame quarterback and is struggling.
Like, what I wanted before the year, I was actually excited about this game on the calendar, because Boston's actually one of the favorite cities I've ever went to. Travel, it's fun. I fucking love their accent. I love to imitate their accent. They say funny shit, and their fans are rabid. I can relate to that. Tom is gone. There was a lot of talk about Tom not getting his flowers for the retirement, jersey retirement. But, besides that, like, I thought this was going to be a more fun matchup. But here we are, both teams limping in, and it's one of those, God, I mean, it could truly go either way. I mean, like, it's going to be bad versus worse, at least based on what we've seen. I know there's a lot coming out of Saints camp, like, we're working hard to get it fixed. And, yeah, I mean, I'm sure these guys are going to be pissed off, but, we thought that after what the defense did at the end of the Packers game, that the defense was going to come into the Bucs all pissed off, and they let Baker Mayfield do Baker Mayfield things. And, the offense was the main reason we lost that game, but the defense didn't really do as many favors either. And so it's like, I don't know how much stock I'm putting in now with this group into, like, oh, they're pissed off and they're going to fix it. I haven't seen that yet. And so, like, I know we desperately need some fucking positivity after what we saw last week, but I mean, I don't have anything objective to stand on to say, this is how we're going to turn it around. I mean, the only thing we can hope for is that even though we weren't offensively great in the first two games, is that maybe the Bucs game was a fluke, but there's a lot to say that it was not a fluke, that it's kind of a lot of the outcropping of a lot of shit we saw leading up to it.
Yeah, I think we covered it on the last episode where we said if we would have closed out the Green Bay game and been 3-0 going into the Bucs game, and then you have that offensive implosion happen, you could chalk it up as, it was a bad game. But just given the way that the Packers game finished up and the way that one went, quite the opposite. Like, we're 2-2, and I think Nick said on the last episode, if you would have told him before the season we'd be 2-2 without Kamara, we'd probably be pretty happy. But it's just that being 2-0 and then going to 2-2, it feels like we're 0-4.
I mean, I don't even care if the offense does like a 2-a-day at some point before the game, because they need to be on point against the Belichick defense.
Yeah. And look, we've scored 20 points once in 4 games. That's just not going to get it done in the NFL. I think as bad as we've been, the Patriots have been worse, which is astonishing. They're probably the only team that looked worse than us this weekend. They gave up 2 defensive touchdowns, 3 turnovers. They got beat by 35. They just got woodshedded, which I think is a negative for us, because we know Belichick's not going to stand for that. They're going to come out ready to play, I would assume. Yeah. So we better be ready to play too. We're both coming off complete duds last weekend. They're somehow a worse offense than us, scoring offense. They're for sure a worse scoring defense than us. This is a game you should win. This is a game I don't think we'll win. I think we are, in a really bad spot with the offense. At some point, you hope they just shake out of it, but there just hasn't been any signs of the coaches or the players figuring it out. Anytime the play is there, the players aren't making it. And then on the other plays, the coaches probably aren't putting them in the position to make the plays. So we're, I'm hoping for a bounce back from Olave because I feel like he could feast off of this team.
Yeah.
At least, I think he'll have space if we can get the ball to him.
Well, also their rookie Gonzalez, he's out indefinitely.
Yeah, and he was their best corner this year, unexpectedly, but he's been their best corner. And we're hurting, they're hurting. I just feel like this is going to be probably another one of those disappointing offensive games. And luckily, I'm looking for a bounce back from our defense to keep them in the teens. But does that mean we win? It might not.
Yeah, this is the resistible force meets the movable object matchup here, because Mac Jones is terrible.
Yeah.
Now, our offense as a whole is terrible. But you guys hit the nail on the head with Belichick isn't going to stand for that kind of performance 2 weeks in a row. He's going for his 300th win, and he would be, the third coach to accomplish that feat? So it sets up perfectly in New England, get to the 300 wins, have all the national media coverage, all the pictures, all that stuff, and we all know the Saints have been on the wrong side
of these
sorts of
when there's
record setting.
There's a record
whenever there's a record to be set, the Saints are probably on the other sideline.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for prediction time. I don't see any way the Saints win this game.
It seems to be, if you predict a win or feel confident anyway about a win, it just seems like you saw something we didn't see against the Bucs. But I mean, when I say Belichick will be ready, I think him getting ready for us or teams in general nowadays and like this modern social media era with his younger players and shit, like, it's kind of like the way that the game is kind of passed Sean Payton by. Like, these aren't the same players Bill Belichick coached in the early 2000s when he was like, undeniably the best dynasty, the whole 2000s really.
I think he's on his way out.
But so I think the best that Bill Belichick can do is just put the best game plan together, because it's not the same players that he can just go into the locker room and just threaten.
Well, the motivational tactics from the
shit.
80s don't work anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So,
also, like
and then
if you lose that quarterback, it's not the same thing.
It's just not. Yeah.
They cover up a lot.
Yeah. But, and if you ask him about his 300th win, he'll probably be like, yeah, it's not. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the Saints.
Yeah, all he's worried about is beating us, but the 300th win comes by association.
That's good.
Their only wins against the Jets. That's the good news. Bad news is the 3 losses are against really good teams.
Who is
Eagles, Dolphins, Cowboys. 4-0, 3-1, 3-1. But they all scored 24 or more. So
it's positive.
We don't know what they are because of who they face, but I mean,
that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, they could very easily turn that around if.
Yeah.
I just looked at Mac Jones' stats. He somehow has 5 touchdowns.
It's bad.
And 4 interceptions. But, just from watching him, I would assume it's like 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Quarterbacks with like 4 or more touchdowns, I'm so jealous of right now. Which is saying a lot.
What does Carr have? 2? Jesus Christ.
Touchdowns? 1, right?
2. He has 2.
He's got to have 2.
He has 2. He threw 1 to Jimmy and 1 to...
Jimmy for sure. Won the first week to Shaheed, right?
Yeah, I believe so. So he has 2.
Shaheed on that double move.
Yeah.
But he's also got 2 picks, right?
Again, look, I want to be more positive about a game, but I just can't be. Even as bad as the Patriots have looked to be, that's a good point. That the teams they've played are also good, and I think the
Carr's on pace for 8.5 touchdowns this year.
Yeah. I think we all agree. I think we're all going to predict a loss in this one, so I'll throw myself in that bucket. But I'll look at it this way, like.
Man, you gave away the whole plot. Come on.
There's a lot more that we talk about besides the outcome, but I say that because this conversation now turns to if, and I know Max loves that word.
I'm going to go ahead and say when.
If we are to win this game, now the conversation turns into what is the path for us to do that. I mean, beyond just saying, oh, we have to get a lot better on offense. Well, no shit. Okay, but, can Pete Carmichael in the moment actually call the right plays that put, when it's third and short, put multiple receivers at the sticks as opposed to sending them all downfield? Stuff like that.
I'll say this.
They kept saying that, but when you look at some of those replays of stats, there was always someone at the sticks.
A guy. But like when you have 5 people that can catch a ball and you have one.
But if you're clearing out for that one guy, you should throw it to that guy.
A clear out isn't all 4 dudes. I mean, like, sure, 1 or 2, but you got to have more than one.
Well, no, what I'm saying is you're running one side of the field, you're running a guy over the top in some route, whatever it is, whether it's a go or whether it's a corner, whatever. You're running him behind the defense and you're running a guy.
The thing is, does it make a whole lot of sense to put your 3 best offensive skill guys besides Kamara like 25 yards down the field on a 3rd and 5?
Only if you're clearing out for one guy. And I'm not saying you do it.
I'll submit this. It doesn't make sense to run a clear out in that situation. Just put 4 dudes past the sticks. Why running a clear out? And if we do that shit against Patriots, we're losing.
I was texting Max a little bit about the offense and how I would change what we've been doing. I would go back to those late Breeze years, early Thomas years right now.
Yeah.
And I'd be bringing back the slants. I'd be bringing back the screens. I'd be bringing back everything short.
But we agree on that then. Yeah.
Hopefully.
We all agree on that. We're all on the same page.
Let's just do that and wait for the shot over the top once or twice a half, right?
Yeah.
Let's just bring it back. Thomas is open, period. He's open. For some reason, Carr's not taking that first. We're making Olave the one, which Max said we were going to do this year as far as targets. We've done it. He's not getting double coverage, so that makes sense. I'm not against it, but why not? Let's reel it in a little bit. Let's go back to those 7-yard routes with Thomas. Let's get the ball just moving down the field.
And I'll add one more to that too, because I agree with that. The thing I didn't see from the Bucs game that we're gonna have to play with in the Patriots game or any other game for that matter is tempo. You always saw when Peyton was coaching
tempo,
Breeze,
there's no rhythm,
the mic'd up games were like tempo.
Yeah,
there was no tempo. I mean, I know
it's
like
just disjointed.
At least it wasn't Jameis bad. Like we didn't blow any timeouts because of delay a game, but that shouldn't be the standard, right? It shouldn't be like, oh well, you didn't have to use time. No, like if clock isn't an issue, that ball should be like the snapping at 10 on the play clock or just quick. I mean, like you shouldn't have any wasted time. Make your pre-snap read and go. That wasn't present in the Bucs game, at least not from what I saw.
Yeah, and to echo what both of you said, I agree 1,000% with what Nick said, first and foremost, about let's get some quick slants in, and then what you said about tempo. Establish a rhythm. Just get into a flow.
Yeah.
Like someone tweeted it, multiple times. I've seen it multiple times over the last couple of weeks. Like, we're just out there running plays. It doesn't feel like they're setting anything up. If you guys remember one of the staples of the Sean Payton era, and I'll use the Zach Strief tackle eligible play. He set that play up for damn near 6 years, and Strief dropped the pass when it finally came.
Yeah.
And I was so angry.
Oh, yeah.
But it was so cool to see this progression of a play being set up for damn near 5 years, and it just went and went and went, and
also,
finally through.
We don't have 5 years this time, though.
It helped.
Exactly.
But that's the point, though, is that you set it up.
But it's that thinking ahead, and each play you call is setting up something else.
Yeah,
and we don't have that right now.
It's not a chess game.
Carmichael's out here just running shit. And the thing is, it's not working.
Right. It kind of smacks like practice. We're gonna run this play now. Okay, but we haven't run this one in a while. Let's do that. Oh, it'd be fun on 3rd and short, a clear out, Nick.
Well, it's like they're playing Madden against. It's like they're drunk playing Madden against their buddy in a dorm room at 3 in the morning.
On like the easy difficulty level.
Well, no, it's on all Madden because we're not getting anywhere.
But they think it's on easy. It's like, we'll just run this play.
It's just like they're just calling just random plays. There's no flow to it.
I don't call random plays in Madden, Max.
You need to be setting these plays up. Like have a cohesive plan on
Real
what
quick,
you're
do you
doing.
like how they came out last week? That was something we hadn't seen yet.
I
thought it was
elaborate on that.
Yeah, I think you need to
featuring
elaborate.
Taysom. I don't mean what happened.
Oh,
I mean
the
from
first drive.
From the approach, were you
the first drive looked good.
I like the changing it up. Keep Sean Payton used to love it, keeping it multiple, where they you didn't know if Carr or Taysom was going to be in there. I'm not saying switch them out every single play, but it was interesting because we talked about it, the things we didn't see last year, and that was the frustrating thing. It's like just when we think we see the thing that we've asked for all offseason, they try it and they fall flat on their face. Like they tried the multiple
but
sets.
No, they didn't fall flat on their face because the first drive they went right down the field and they got a field goal.
Oh well, yeah, but I mean,
but then I swear we didn't see it afterwards.
One thing
they pivoted.
we mentioned last episode was the stupid car in the backfield on the sweep with Kamara.
The fake
but
car.
What's to say we weren't setting something up? You know what I'm saying? And you just don't get to it.
Setting up a 4-yard loss.
No, setting up, giving it to Carr and throwing out left or some trick play down the road. You don't know if now when you get -4, you're not coming back to that play, right? Most likely.
I don't see what they could be setting up because if Carr, let's say Carr, argument's sake, he takes the handoff. He's right. He's a foot behind the line and he's getting tackled.
Well, say Taysom next time just drops back, Carr flares to the left, you throw back.
That's different. If he does that,
I'm just saying they may have been setting something up. So when nothing works, it's hard to get to the next step. Nothing has worked.
And that's the thing. The last game's performance was just so bad that you can't even figure out what the hell was going on.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
If the receivers are the ones fucking up and they're the only ones fucking up, then it's clear. Oh, look at that play. He did not run the right route. He did not get separation.
I don't even know what game y'all are talking about. I don't remember anything.
Yeah, there was this. I don't know. What are we on? Week 4 now?
No, we didn't. We skipped. We had a bye week. Week 4.
Bye week, right?
We just forfeited.
We got 2 buys. We had 2 buys this season.
We Jawanned it last week. No one showed up.
But no, to answer your original question, what I think needs to happen if we are going to be effective and have a chance at winning this game is that we need to be able to run the goddamn ball. Like we have to crack the century mark for the first time all year.
I'll be happy with even cracking the 80.
Rushing. Well, no, I want 100. We have to get to 100, and then we also have to employ the quick passing game. Keep some screens going. Like, don't do this throw it to Kamara 3 yards behind the line thing where he gets shoved out of bounds.
Screens. Yeah,
actual screens.
Or the choice route we talked about. That wasn't there.
Some quick slants to Michael Thomas. My God, he's called Slant Boy for a reason. Utilize him. Like, people can't guard it. And guess what else? Olave, Shaheed. Throw some quick passes to these guys. Yeah. They're as quick as they get, especially Olave.
I want to be able
That guy is going to beat his guy off the line in a second.
I want to be able to come out of this game talking shit to Patriots fans when they're like, oh, Mike Thomas fucking slant boy. Yeah, well, he's our slant boy. And he just kicked your ass.
Yeah, and
get the tight ends involved. Every time.
Get the tight ends
that's
involved,
fine.
please.
Let him be slant boy. But, and it's like, but the best offense ever looked, and call it Peyton, call it Carmichael, whatever, is when
I will not call it Carmichael.
Okay, fine. But when the announcers got to best the Saints offense has ever looked is when, guys on the TV would say it. That was basically a run play where they threw the ball. Where Thomas comes in on the slant or you get a quick where the ball gets thrown, yes, but it's the same as run play because it's like about a 90% completion percentage.
And one thing I'll say about that, because I agree 100%, is it doesn't seem Carr gets that ball out as fast on those wide receiver screens. It's like he takes a step.
Yeah.
Whereas Breeze, as he was receiving the ball, no laces, nothing, would just chuck it out there.
Yeah, you're not going to find a QB for a long time as fundamentally sound as Breeze. So,
Ever.
I mean,
it's making it much harder on the skill players
now,
to get
I
space.
think Carr is...
This is where coaching adjustments come into play.
Carr's like the best we got in that scenario. But, like, if you can't throw the one step out, well, then let him throw it to, like... Yeah, adjustments. The coaches can coach around that.
Let's just get back to the original point. We all agree we need rhythm, we need quick passing, we need a little bit of running game. Like, let's get all of those things going. Call it the late Drew Brees career arc.
Or
when he was
that Brady year where everything was to Edelman. Short,
exactly.
Let's just start getting some drives.
Paper cut them to death. But when you're getting 4 or 5 yards of completion, those are going to add up to first downs, and sooner or later you're going to pop one deep. And my God, if Juwan Johnson can ever decide to actually play in a game and not get me 0 points for the fantasy team, maybe we can utilize him.
Yeah, I wish your fantasy team well. I mean, you're pretty far down in the standings, so I'm not worried about how you're doing.
Tanking for Caleb, baby. But no, I think that's we're all in agreement on what needs to happen on offense. Defense, what I want to see out of these guys is a little more fire and a little more passion. Because they look disinterested this week. Yeah. Cam, I don't know if Cam retired after week 2, and we just didn't know.
He played a little better, but he still didn't get home. I think he had 4 tackles.
There's some plays where he looked good, but not dominant or Cam.
He looked fresh in week 1 and 2.
He did, yeah.
He looked like he found the fountain of youth.
I feel like we lost the defense with that fumble. right after the turnover. And that's where they kind of started to lean on us. The touchdown drive before that, they converted 5 third downs.
Yeah.
Our defense is way better than that. That was just one of those drives where
you kind of have to wonder. And it's one of those things we'll never have the answer to, and no player will ever admit to anything like this. But it's like it was hard for us to watch that offense, right? We're fans. Like, it has to be hard when you're the defense on the other side of the ball. Like, there's no way that bullshit that just
it's awful.
Especially
what the fuck? There's no way it doesn't rub off on you. Like, the defense had to be like taken back.
They drive all the way down the field
in motivation.
Well, you stop it with an interception.
It's demoralizing.
And you're on the field the next play.
It's demoralizing.
One play was run.
It's like, what are we playing for when the offense is just going to get back out there and do shit?
Look, we're going to go back to the hashtag that's been thrown around all offseason. The defense is better than that on paper.
Oh, what?
In reality, they looked great in weeks 1 and 2 in the first 3 quarters of week 3.
Yeah.
Last week, they were not elite.
They weren't elite.
The week before, they were not elite. So let's see which way they go. There's a lot of older guys on that defense, man. And at some point, Father Time catches up with everybody.
They weren't awful either.
They weren't awful.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's amazing that, like, you know, there was times when we would say, man, we wish our defense would hold a team to, like, mid-20s or low 20s. And, you know, they kind of
And that
like,
was also a late touchdown.
Yeah.
So
kind of garbage time. But, you know, it's like.
I want to see if the defense, if they're top 10 or if they're top 3. And I think right now, weeks 1 and 2, they look top 3.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks,
they're
top
probably
10.
somewhere between there, I would say.
Well,
and that's
one is elite and one is very good.
Well, I was going to say,
so let's see where they ultimately fall.
The defense having a bounce back game is also the 100% most necessary thing to get a win. Because even if the offense does have a different game plan, even if Pete Carmichael does find his head somewhere up in his ass and calls a decent game, as opposed to whatever the fuck that was in the game we didn't play last week, you know, the defense will still have to hold them, because I still don't have confidence that a new game plan and better play calling is going to also result in better execution or even in points. We have nothing to base any optimism of scoring.
Oh, no one here has optimism.
2 touchdowns. So, like, we might, like, 14, if we scored 2 touchdowns against the Patriots, I'll feel great.
So let's talk about what do we worry about on the New England defense, and then let's make our picks. But
honestly,
offense. Sorry, New England's offense. Anyone scare you?
No, and that's what I was going to say. I've watched.
Not really.
Unfortunately, I've watched a couple of Patriots quarters this year, and these receivers suck. Like, there's not one receiver that scares me that's going to take the top off or just threaten anybody. They got a bunch of bigger body guys, the types that Lattimore just shuts down. If Debo's back this week, I don't see any way they scare us or do anything. Mac Jones is terrible. The running game's solid. Ramondre Stevenson's solid.
I was going to say, he's probably the only one that actually.
I feel like if you shut down the run, you're pretty much good to go. On defense, I'm terrified because Belichick is a master, much like DA, and we can say what we will about them as, you know, on the offensive side. When it comes to defense, those two always have their defenses where they need to be, and he's got to be smelling blood in the water after watching last week and the weeks before that of how we performed on offense. So defense scares me.
Belichick is probably right now game planning.
But they lost Christian Gonzalez, I believe.
Right, they
did. Stud rookie
I think
corner.
There's a second one too. I don't know if it's
Matthew
Judon. Yeah.
So that's pretty
out?
big.
Yeah, huge.
I think he's out.
Well, we thought all the Packers injuries were going to be huge, and we saw that one.
Well, Tampa had everyone on the injury report too. They had Devin White on there. They had everybody. They all played.
I'm not putting. There's like nothing I'm actually going to can put any stock in based on everything that's happened this year, our performance. But I'll tell you this much. Yeah, it's not a single player for the Patriots defense. It's Belichick, because right now he's not just game planning for the bullshit he saw against the Bucs. He's game planning for what he knows is going to be our adjustments. Yeah. He already knows how we're going to fix it. Like, he might know better than Carmichael how to fix what's going on the offense, and that's what he's game planning for. You know, he's not game planning for the bullshit we did. He knows that whatever he saw on tape in the Bucs game is getting thrown in the trash, because he knows the last thing that we can do is run the same shit we did in the Bucs game.
So how do you see it playing out, Corey?
I can't. I still look. There's paths to victory, sure, if we pull it out of our ass, but I can't see us winning, and it's also going to be another offensive struggle. Maybe we actually score a touchdown in this game, or maybe even 2. But I still think it's a
2 touchdowns.
We might definitely. I think we get one. We get 1 touchdown.
All right.
But I see it as a 17-13 victory for the Pats, unfortunately.
17-13 loss.
Okay, who's your offensive MVP, if there is one? You can say no here.
Who scores the touchdown?
Who scored?
You know who's going to score the touchdown?
Here we go.
Mac's going to love this.
Oh.
Keith
Prentice.
Kirkwood.
Oh, Jesus. You have given up on the season. All right, defensively.
It's going to be one of those random ass.
I'm going to put just Kirkwood TV down.
I did that just to inflict pain on Max.
And you know what's sad? He's probably right.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those weird. Yeah.
You just took the wind out of my sails with that.
I know. That was the point. What else was defensive MVP? DeMario Davis. He's gonna
What's he going to do? Anything special?
Just a bunch of tackles. Just volume.
Double-digit
God,
tackles.
our standards have fallen.
Yeah.
First couple weeks, he's going to have an interception, fumble return,
Just a bunch
for a
of tackles.
touchdown.
DeMario Davis,
He's going to have like 5 or 6 tackles.
He's not going to get hurt.
Yeah,
He'll be
he's
the MVP.
He's gonna be in fucking Boston, called a baker's fucking dozen. I don't, whatever you want, dude.
Oh, God.
All right, Max, what you got? Corey, 17,
Man, this
13.
is tough. Okay, well, it's going to be a loss. I just don't see any way we go to New England and stop Belichick from getting that 300 win as a coach. So we're definitely going to lose. Offensive MVP. Man.
Keith Kirkwood.
What was your score? Sorry.
I'm torn on this one.
Multiple of 3, probably. on both
God, I'm
sides.
so tempted to say 3. I'm so tempted
3
to
zip?
say we only get a field goal.
It's possible.
That's a call. If
The trend,
you go
the
that
trend
hard.
would continue.
No, I'm going to say 6.
Mac
we have
Jones
2
might
field
give you
goals.
6.
So I'm going to tell you the special teamer is the offensive MVP because he's the only points. So Groupie is going to hit 2 field goals.
Oh, you stole my guy.
Okay, so now it's only 2. What are they? Short, long, 50,
So
40?
how many is Patriots scoring?
He's actually going to hit 2 long field goals. He's going to redeem himself from
One's like
week
46,
3.
one's 51.
He's going to hit a 52-yarder and like a 41-yarder.
Okay.
But it's going to, well,
There's one
it's not
bounces
going to
off.
show us anything in crunch time because we're going to be losing at this point, so it doesn't matter. It's just going to be one of those, why is he kicking the field goal? Whatever, he kicked the field goal. Okay, put points on the board. So we're going to have 6. They're going to have, they squeak out a touchdown. I'm going to say 16-6.
Oh, I thought you were going 7-6. That would have been awesome. All right, 16
to 6.
Defensive MVP.
You have to come up with very specific stats like I did for this.
Man, this is really tough. Defensive MVP. Fuck it, no, it's obvious. This is easy. Brian Brzee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brzee is going to have. This is his breakout game. I'm calling his shot. Brzee has 3 sacks. Because Mac Jones is such trash and doesn't know how to get out of the pocket and throw the ball when he needs to. Brzee has 3 sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mac Jones has one of the all-time scared faces in the NFL, too. All those still shots when he's like, "Arr!"
Well, we got to watch it because Mac Jones is a dirty player. He's kind of like John Stockton back in the day.
Oh, he's like,
So-
yeah, he's bad.
I hope he doesn't, try to kick Brzee in the nuts or something once he gets sacked by him. But yeah, those are my picks. 16-6, Groupie offensive MVP, Brzee defensive MVP. Boom.
Boom.
Y'all are making me want to change my pick.
What were you gonna pick?
Oh, I was going to pick us to lose. I'm thinking about flipping it just because of y'all.
Oh, look
Okay.
at you.
Well,
You
Mix
rebel,
it up.
All right.
Go with your gut.
19-18.
It's a high-scoring affair, sir.
Groupie 4 field goals.
Ooh, I like it.
3 of them off of turnovers from the Patriots, where
Okay.
we're basically in field goal range already.
Yes, could see that.
Um,
Wait, we have 19, or they have 19?
I'm taking us to. I'm gonna take us just because y'all said no, so y'all can yell at me if
We got a winner.
If y'all win. We need something to talk about next week when
We
I
got
blow
one,
this.
one
because
winner.
I felt lost.
I felt Corey would go out on the hill on this, but
I'm gonna do it.
I-
I'm gonna do
I
a
almost-
1-point win.
Almost talked myself into it. But
Groupie 4 field goals is our MVP. Defensively,
2 for Groupie. I like it.
I'm.
You got to go with Brzee. Roll with me.
No, I'm not. I'm going with my guy again because
which one?
I think Mac Jones is going to throw it his way and he's
Lattimore?
going to take it. Yeah,
Okay.
I think Mac Jones is too stupid to be scared of him.
I can see
And
that.
he's going to target him 5 times and he's going to get one.
Yeah, I will say my second option for defensive MVP was Lattimore.
because I don't think Mac Jones will throw it anywhere. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah,
So,
but my argument against it is I feel like he's just going to ignore that side of the field and just throw at Yadam and Alante.
Almost went with Warner because there's Boston fans.
He had a good game this week, by the way.
Like, who's this guy?
Lattimore's just going to lock up whoever the hell's on that entire left side.
If he tries to throw the Bourne on Lattimore, that's going to be a bad situation for the Patriots.
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
Well, these are fun predictions, man. I like
So
these.
now we have something to argue about next week. We keep agreeing, so I'm just going to be contrarian for fun.
I hope they're fun to unpack next week. I hope we have any fun on the recap episode next week because this past one wasn't fun.
Nick is right, and we somehow win because we are teetering. And I know in all the preseason preview episodes we talked about the offensive line was going to be the catalyst. Now it's the offense in general. Like, it's not the two-faced line or any of that. It is the offense in general.
Officially everything.
And this can literally go off the rails very quickly.
Oh, if we want to go doom and gloom, we're on the edge of it. We're
literally on the
edge of the waters of doom and gloom because staring down the Texans if we lose this game is not going to be fun.
No, it's not.
Because we go there, CJ.
Yeah. So
yeah,
let's be clear here.
It actually is kind of a must win.
The season, a way, I called this past week a must win. The season right now is on the brink. And if that offense somehow does worse, like I predicted they will, you're going to lose some people in that locker room, man, and it's going to get bad quick.
I think New Orleans might lose internet service over all the Twitter shit that's going to be firing off because we saw how slippery.
The takes were hot this week.
Like the shambles were loud and bad and desperate and they were rough. It was like someone having a family tragedy and having to console them. Like I can't even imagine what it's going to be like if it's worse.
Yeah, look, again, no confusion. This can go off the rails very quickly, and if it's going to go off the rails, it's going to go off the rails this week and next week.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I'm going to put it more in the 2 games rather than the 1. If they were to lose this and come back and beat the Texans, I think you're still okay. But if they lose the next 2,
if they lose the next 2, you're officially in Drake May, Shadur Sanders talk because it's going to get bad. But you guys have anything else you want to add to this, or?
No, I mean I think I can't. There's nothing.
I only said those 2 because Caleb's off limits because obviously the first pick's taken him.
I don't even want Caleb, man.
But that's a whole other discussion. We want Brock Bowers, obviously, but we got to have a quarterback.
I don't think Caleb's the best quarterback in the draft. How about that for a hot take?
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day.
It'll leave y'all with something.
Anyway, so we do have a very special episode.
Oh yeah, shit.
Coming to you guys, hopefully on Saturday, maybe even late Friday.
Maybe Friday night. Yeah.
But we'll just leave it at that. Should be a real fun episode, though. A nice little bonus one, just to kind of make up for the lack of excitement on the field from the Saints.
Well, to keep y'all's interested, Peak, it's like when we talk about what a game is and what a game is not, you got to figure that shit out.
I mean, it's just more in the game, right?
Right.
Exactly. So with that, we'll go ahead and leave you guys with that, and
the
we'll see you guys
real
in a couple
ones
days.
know. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Who dat?